O'Connell's tenure. I'll give you a quick take and let you guys react to it, which is just that if you're Jordan Addison and you saw Zay Flowers get 4 years, $140 million, is that right? Somewhere in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
I would be getting a chauffeur and I would be tucking in at 9:30 at night p.m. and I would be doing everything I possibly can, which, we saw Addison working out with Kyler Murray going into the season and so forth, just doing everything I can because I think the way Kevin O'Connell talks about this guy, they want him long term. It will be a challenge with the dollar figures, but you know this in the NFL, if you want something to happen, you can make it happen. And I think that Addison should be very inspired by a guy from his draft class getting those dollars and seeing what's out potentially in front of him. So, reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this, Collar. When I saw that number, it was a wow. I mean, I will be curious, and I'll get you both of your thoughts on like how you think about just Jordan Addison compared to Zay Flowers as players, just strictly on the field, because I think that's an interesting conversation. But I just looked this up while you were talking. I mean, the Vikings right now for 2026 are spending $171 million on their offense. That is seventh most in the NFL. Jordan Addison obviously would cost a premium. And so that raises the bar even further. I think for 2027, the Vikings are planned to spend $185 million. So it would, Collar, to your point, take a lot of creativity. But when on the field, they have had Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and their guys healthy, and they have had quarterback play that rises to a requisite level. They can really get explosive in the passing game, and that's what they wanted their identity to be. So it's going to be quite interesting to me, factoring in the off-field stuff and all of it, what a fair number ultimately becomes for him, Garrett, don't you think?
Yeah, so with the Jordan Addison contract specifically, I think from a franchise standpoint, at least right now, the Vikings are in a favorable spot just because he's coming off of a, career low with everything. He didn't have a good year last year, but there is also a part to this where Jordan Addison goes for 1,000 yards for the first time this year. The quarterback play is significantly improved from last year, which we all expect, and he has double-digit touchdowns for the second time in his career. And then the part that I'm not going to look forward to is whenever these contract discussions talk, because of the rising salary cap every year, is with Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. I don't think there's that much of a difference between the two. I don't think that just because Zay has outproduced Jordan, I mean, you have to look at who's on the opposite side of the field of Jordan Addison and obviously realize that his numbers are always going to be limited, at least compared to what Zay has been able to accomplish statistics-wise. But then we're going to have a conversation of, if Zay got the exact contract in terms of average annual value of Justin Jefferson, agents always, they're looking for their slice of the pie. There's a non-zero chance that we have a conversation next offseason of Jordan Addison getting paid more than Justin Jefferson, which is it could very easily happen, but that's one thing that I want to be clear. I think Jordan Addison bounces back in a big way this year because even though we have him under contract for 2027, he knows, the Vikings know, everybody knows if he balls out this year that we're looking at a 9-figure contract for Jordan Addison, and that would be inevitable.
Collar, I mean, from a player comparison standpoint, I know you probably haven't ripped a bunch of Zay Flowers tape of late, but I like, how do you, for me, I don't see a ton of difference between these two. Like Zay maybe has more like short area explosiveness, but I mean, Jordan Addison's smoothness as a route runner might be more polished. So what is your opinion of those two compared to each other?
Yeah, and Flowers has been much more of a wide receiver one in role, which we don't know exactly how Addison would perform had he had that role in 2023 and 2024. But I do think that Addison is one of the best in the league at going downfield, going up and getting it, ball tracking, creating separation one-on-one. There are sometimes some issues of working through physicality, which I think he's got better at. And with Flowers, I see him as having that jolt, having that lightning, like get the ball in his hands and he can make a lot of plays. But in terms of where you would rank them, if you were ranking all wide receivers in the NFL, I don't think that it would be that different. It's clearly not up there with, Nakua, Jefferson, Chase, JSN. Like he's not there. but he is probably in the second tier of wide receivers when he's at his best. Last year, he was like a fourth tier wide receiver, and we can't completely blame the quarterback play on that either, because he dropped a lot of passes last season, and it didn't seem like the focus was really there. So I think this is a turning point for Jordan Addison in his career. And, there does also become maybe an angle of trading him if he has a very good season. I don't think it's something that Kevin O'Connell wants to do, but we also saw the Seattle Seahawks trade away DK Metcalf and lean into JSN because they were going to have to pay DK Metcalf a heck of a lot of money, and they didn't want to do that. So they let the Pittsburgh Steelers pay him instead. So you might get to that crossroads just because, as Garret mentioned, when you have the idea of these prices where Zay Flowers is creeping up on Justin Jefferson, Jefferson's going to need a new contract after this season. So that has to, I think, be factored into the Addison discussion as well.
I mean, it's also, you just can't pay everybody top dollar all the time. If you're paying Christian Darrisaw, and I don't even know, Christian Darrisaw's guaranteed money at some point is probably going to, it's going to come up. Brian O'Neill just signed a massive extension. The tight end spot we'll see, but Donovan Jackson next year will be entering year 3 for him. So Justin Jefferson, we've talked about. There's just, the running back spot is probably going to be a conversation moving forward. So I was just looking at the numbers too, and you got Alec Pierce just signed his deal. It's $60 million fully guaranteed. It's 28.5 an average annual value. That's sizable stuff. So my opinion, Collar, and we've got edge rusher depth on the side of the screen. I just still strongly believe they need to add somebody behind Dallas Turner in a pass rush centric role. Someone who has produced, someone who has done it, someone who is going to cost not a ton, but is going to cost something because they've proven it at the NFL level. Just because for me, even though this defense sounds very committed to playing team football this entire season, and certain guys are going to take turns, I just my mind is down the road of, if you lose an Andrew Van Ginkel, or if you lose a Blake Cashman, or if you lose a Dallas Turner, how much pressure can you really apply on the edge? So I still very much believe that this team needs to add a free agent edge rusher. Is that hot enough of a take for you, Keller?
It is, but let me redirect to Garret on this one. You probably watched some Leonard Floyd, some Hassan Reddick. Do you have any other names of cut candidates or something like that you think would be a good fit for the Vikings?
Yeah, at this point, Hassan Reddick would probably be the guy where it's just like, hey, we just want you in one specific role. Don't overthink it. This is what you are going to do. We don't need you to learn the intricacies of Brian Flores' system. You see the guy that's getting snapped the football, 3rd and 8, just you need to run directly at him. That is going to be the complexity of that player's role. And I do want to add just one thing onto the Jordan Addison contract. What would be good for the Vikings, just if this were to play out, if everything plays out the way that we're anticipating this year, with improved quarterback play, with everything, then there's a conversation of what Kyler Murray's contract would look like in addition to the Jordan Addison. So there's also another layer of that. So whenever you look at this, it's never just one thing. There's 7 or 8 different things that could play into this. So I did want to also, I had that thought as the conversation was being had, where we may have a 9-figure contract for a quarterback before Jordan Addison's slice of the pie and his opportunity would even come up. So I wouldn't be surprised if this, due in large part to all of this, would be his final year in the Twin Cities.
Collar, edge rusher, you feel like they got to add one?
Yeah, I might lean a little Leonard Floyd, just because he has experience with Kevin O'Connell with the Rams, and there's some other connections there. I think Ryan Nielsen in Atlanta last year. Am I thinking of that correctly?
Not last year, but he's been there, certainly.
Maybe there's a connection there to Ryan Nielsen. Anyway, the point just being that, Reddick and Floyd are kind of very, very similar outside linebacker type players. I agree that someone has to be added. I like where some of their players are: Ty Ingram Dawkins, Tyler Batty, Bo Richter. But if Dallas Turner goes out, you need someone to rush the passer. You can't really just sort of cobble that together